Hello everybody, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do this effect. So this is a swirl and it's actually a shader on the camera itself. So what you see here, it's swapping between two different scenes and I'm going to make it two tutorials. So I'm going to show the first tutorial where I do the actual shader, and then in the next tutorial I'm going to show you how to do this. Because if you see here, it says moon and now it says earth. It's actually swapping between two scenes, and I find it a nice way to do the kind of shader effect, to swap it like that. But of course the full screen effect you can do with so much other effects. So let's start from scratch. And the first thing I'm gonna do, well, actually just I have prepared a scene. So it's only just a basic game object in it. And if you like this tutorial, I have also, you can do this moon in a tutorial. But you can do whatever you want. I mean, we're only going to focus on a full screen effect. So the first thing, I have already added this full screen pass. So I'm going to remove it and do it from scratch. So let's say if you do start from scratch, as we are now, the first thing you want to do is go to Edit, and you go to Product Settings. And then you go into this graphic section, and the pipeline, you find that one. So this is the pipeline. And in the pipeline, you have here a render. So if you click on the render, you find the renderer, and if you go into the render in the inspector, here down there you can add render feature. So if you just press it and you do full screen pass render feature, and by default it's actually full screen inverted colors, so they just have a default shader. So that's how you find it, and I actually made this one so you can just look at it. So product settings, graphics, and you find the pipeline, and you go into the inspector of the pipeline, and there you find your renderer, and in the renderer you see the inspector. Down there you add render feature, and it's going to be a full screen pass, and you add your own material. So we're gonna change this effect now. So we're gonna do, first off, we do a shader graph, URP, and it's going to be full screen shader graph. And I'm going to name it like this, and we're going to make a material. Oh, 102 like that, yeah. So, and all right, now we just need to find so this full screen inverted colors, I'm just going to lock it here so we don't lose it. So then we go back, and this is the material we made. We put it here, and bam, it gets gray. And that's good, because it's supposed to do that. So in this shader, and we're going to put it here. And we can actually put the scene down here so we see what's going on. Or the game, we can have both. So here you see we have a vertex and fragment. So the base color, that's the gray part we see. So the first thing we need to do is to add an URP sampler buffer. And we just, add it like this. And if we save, you see now it's the normal. We get the normals, and that's nice, but we're actually just going to have the blitz source and save. So now we see the colors, and this is the start out that we're going to have. And so we're going to add a swirl effect. And by doing that, we need to use the UVs. So if we have the UV like this, and so we're going to get the UVs from the camera, And here you actually see it's out 4, so it gets X, Y, Z, W, E, I think it is. But we only need 2 vectors. So if we do a swizzle, and we just pick X and I, we get the UVs, just 2 floats that we want. And here we're just going to do a twirl. And if we just plug it in like this, you see it already works. So the strength here, if we just crank it up, let's say 46 and save, you see this is the effect. This is super nice. So we're gonna do a float here and call it blend, and we're gonna have this blend to control this strength. And I always want the blend to be a slider, so between 0 to 1, and then we can just do so we just do a remap. So the remap is always 0 to 1, so we do it 0 to 1. And we want it to go from 0 to, let's say, 60. So now when we drag this slider in the material, and here is the material. So if we drag it like this, we swirl it. So this is super nice. And you see at the end, if we're going to swap to a new level, we want it to be black just in the end. So we're going to add that too, and we're going to add it here. So we're going to use the lerp again. Well, actually, I meant the blend. So we have the blend here, and the blend going to go into the T. So when the blend is 0, we're going to have 0. So 0 means A, and A is the sample buffer. We're going to plug it in here. And when this blend value is set to 1, we want it to be completely black, so we will lerp to black color. So if we save now and look at this planet, and now you see it getting dark in the end. So that's nice. And I don't really want the darkness to kind of start here. I want it to start a little bit later. So we could remap it, but I'm not just going to do a power node here. So if we do power, we're going to make the values be not linear like this. It's going to be more like a hill like this. So if we try with 2 and save here, see now it's lighter, a little bit longer, and I want it to be lighter even longer. So I'm going to do, let's do 4 here. So we're just delaying the darkness a bit, but it always gets darker down. So that's nice. And also, I just want to add some noise to this too. So here, before we sample the URP sampler here, I want to add a noise here, because it will break up a little bit on the swirl. So if we do like this, a simple noise, we can do it like 50. We don't need it to be so strong. We just add it. So we can just add it and see how it looks. And yeah, you see now it do some noise effect, but we're actually just gonna add it same time as we used to blend. So we again going to do this remap. And here, when we do the add here, we're going to, so this is 0 to 1. So we're going to go do 0 to 1, plug it in here. So actually no difference yet. But the neat thing is here that if we do a remap here from the blend, so if the blend is from 0 to 1, and instead of having it from 0 to 1, well, actually we just leave it like this first, and I'm going to show you what's going to happen. So if we do like this, so what's happening here is when we have 0 to 1, this doesn't really do any effect at the moment. We're going to change it. So here it's, let's say we do the blend to the value of 1. Then it's going to be -1 here, and this one here gonna represent 1. So now the noise is going to go -1 and +1. But if we just take this one and do 0.2, it will only go up to 0.2 as the maximum value. So 0 represents 0 and 1 represents 0.2. So what we are actually doing here, if we save it, you see the noise is adding in, and you get this a little bit more nicer things going on. So if we just remove this and say, if you look here when I save, you see it get a little bit more noise, and I find it nicer. So yeah, so this is the shader, and it's not super complicated. So this is the noise part here, and this is the black fade part here, and this is a URP sample buffer, and this part here is a twirl. So we do the nice thing like this. So if we just do this one here, this here you have it. Super nice. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how you just kind of do a nice blend between two scenes. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.